Okay.
ピッチピッチチャップチャップランランラン。あれ？先生？あ、ここでしたか。先生、こんにちは。何言ってるんですか、先生。せっかく先生がずーっとお願いしてきた格好に着替えてきたのに。ああ、残念だな。
I don't need an intro for this. Nintendo is an awful company. They have truly become the purest form of cancer in this entire industry, and here's why. Charging $80 for a video game isn't just ridiculous, but it's dangerous. It's setting a precedent for games to cost more and more sooner and sooner. It couldn't possibly be any more anti-consumer. Nobody gives this company enough credit for how scummy they actually are and have been for years. Mario 3D World launches on Wii U for $60. Later is discounted as a Nintendo Select for $20, gets ported to Switch for $60. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze launches at $50, is discounted to $20, gets ported to Switch for $60. Luigi's Mansion 2 launches on 3DS for $40 in 2013, discounted to $20 in 2016, and gets ported to Switch for $60 in 2025. I mean, what? I'm sorry, what? Are you fucking kidding me? And let's also keep in mind that all these games are over a decade old. Charging me $60 for a 12-year-old 3DS game that used to cost $20, and it's so lazily ported that the game is filled with bugs and graphical glitches. Stop buying these games. Every dollar you spend on Nintendo is just one more reason they have to charge you more for less. You buying this is telling them that I will buy this quality of a game for this price regardless of its age. So what do we have now? Well, we have...
Why is this guy trying to fight supply and demand? Is he retarded or some shit? If people buy the game for this amount, then that's the right price.
A console that meets the bare minimum. 4K output. That's something I would expect standard from a console in 2016, let alone 2025. 120 Hz. To be expected. Although it's nice to know that whatever power this thing is pumping, it ain't enough to do 4K and 120 at the same time. I guess we'll just have to wait another 9 years for that. A 1080p screen. Geez, I'd fucking hope so. And a few other little additions that just barely scrape the standards of today's consoles. But what about those accessories? Of course, we now have built-in game chat being accessible through the C button. With the new Switch 2 camera, you can stream your greasy face to all your loser friends over in Louisiana. But of course, a Nintendo Switch Online membership is required. So this button is completely useless unless you pay money. With a paid subscription, you get the privilege of participating in video calls featuring a shitty virtual green screen mask, 3 frames per second streaming, and only 4 minutes of latency. All for the low price of at least $20 annually and of course $50 for the Temu quality USB camera. But at the very least, now inviting friends to parties is all done on the system. No need for complicated instructions on how to use a headphone jack. Wow, it only took them 23 years. I'm glad to see people treat this like an accomplishment. But don't worry, I'm sure we can all trust that Nintendo's accessories will be made with quality components and will work flawlessly. They are the company that made these after all, and these have a long history of functioning properly, right? But now, I have a new issue. The Nintendo Switch 2 just has so many new features that have been standard for years, and the only piece of hardware I'm familiar with is this Leapfrog. So how can I learn all about these new features? Well, fret not, jackass. All you need is the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. All for the low price of $10. Wow, remember the good old days when you would get a new console and dick around with the built-in software? These types of software are so important because they'll always be the consumer's first impressions with the system. Everyone will always remember playing around with PictoChat or DSi Sound on the DS. They'll remember playing Face Raiders and collecting puzzle pieces in the Street Pass Plaza on 3DS. You'll remember screwing around in Welcome Park on the PS Vita, the Playroom on PS4 and PSVR, Nintendo Land on Wii U, and of course the most famous pack-in tech demo, Wii Sports. Such a simple and light game that is now cemented into pop culture. You just cannot think about the Wii without thinking about Wii Sports. And what did we just teach Nintendo? We just taught Nintendo that if you take a 16-year-old tech demo and cheaply repaint it with content missing at launch, then we will gladly pay $60 for it. Think about this. A free game from 2006. A $60 game from 2022. This is fucking disgusting. There is no soul behind this game. It's graphically unimpressive in both its art style and visual output. And you know what's sad? This isn't even the first time they did this. Go back to 2013 with Wii Sports Club and it's the same deal. Suddenly a free tech demo costs $50. At the very least, this game looks good. Everything about its visuals is just beautiful, and it felt good, like human beings with pulses worked on it. Jump ahead 10 years and you get this slop. So what about the Nintendo Switch 2? Does it get a tech demo? Well, the original Switch got 1-2 Switch, a $50 piece of shit that was fun one time ever, and that was when it launched and you wanted a break from Zelda. I genuinely remember the only time I had fun with this game was when everyone playing it was laughing at how stupid it was. And hey, how about a sequel? A sequel to a tech demo that takes the idea of complete garbage and asks for another $50. So how about that Switch 2? This time around, we got Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, a tech demo more focused on the hardware and teaching you what it does and how to use it. And you have to pay for it. That is the most unbelievable shit on the planet. I'm paying $450 for your uninnovative money vacuum of a console, and then I have to pay you to teach me how to use it? Now we have game sharing, which is a nice addition, but of course it's nothing new. You've been able to play local multiplayer games by streaming your game to a friend's console on PlayStation for years now. This being an option on Switch is nice, and it even works locally, but even then, they act as if it's new. It's not even new for them. You can share your game locally to others with just one copy of the game. Wow, you mean like download play? You mean like that thing I could do 20 years ago for free on a DS? And now you get this mess. Only Switch 2 systems can share games, but both generations can receive gameplay. That's nice. Remember how the 3DS had download play with other 3DS systems and DS systems? And there was just no need for any other explanation because nothing about it was confusing? Virtual game cards are so anti-consumer, it's ridiculous.
But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards?
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I'm sitting here with my digital game library confused out of my mind. Shouldn't it be the other way around? I wish that physical games could be as flexible and convenient as digital ones. If I have 3 Switches, I can download my entire digital library on all of them and play any game at any time on whichever console I choose. What about that isn't flexible and convenient? So now, all your digital games have to be loaded and unloaded from system to system every time you want to play them. Wow, well isn't that just an absolute nightmarish headache? Imagine how much fun it'll be sitting with your systems loading and unloading
we get it.